Good evening and welcome to tonight's bite-sized Bible Bulletin. As you can see, we're in a different venue because on Sunday we're looking forward to our first in-person gathering that we've had for 6 months. And tonight we're going to walk through what Sunday will look like. As you can see, I just made my way from the car park. And as you come from the car park, there will be a steward in the car park. And then as we allow ourselves to come into the building, there are markings on the floor to keep ourselves socially distant. And as people are booking in, the doors will not open till 10:45 because our first service and only service for this Sunday will commence at 11 o'clock. And so we're going to take you into the welcome area now. So let's go through here. As you can see, there's still red markings for social distancing on the floor. In the building, face masks will be compulsory unless you have an exemption and are able to wear the exemption. So you'll need a mask unless you have got an exemption. As you come into the welcome area, again, the social distancing that's in place. And then as you have booked in, most people are booking in right now, and if you haven't booked in, please book in to secure your place. You'll see that we have an area here where you will be ticked off as being booked in. Masks are available if you have optional. There's a sanitizer. There's offering envelopes if people are not paying by direct debit. And of course, there's a welcome to in-person church on the 4th of October 2020. And so that's what to expect when you come into our in-person gathering on Sunday. The toilets at the front are currently locked off and are not available for use. We'll explain that a little bit more in a few moments. And so as we walk through here, we need to keep a safe distance apart, always save room for Jesus, keep a social distance, and again, face masks are to be worn as we enter into the building. And so we come into a familiar environment for many of us right now. Do you remember this? Perhaps some of you have not been here for 6 months, but this is the church, if you remember it, the physical building. And we'll come on to these pods in a few moments. We'll talk about that in a moment. But just to let you know, I mentioned earlier that the ladies and gentlemen's toilets are locked off. And in here, there'll be a disabled toilet for your use, obviously, one person at a time. The front toilets, many people could go in, but here it's one person at a time, and obviously you will do your ablutions as you need to do, should you require it. Hopefully you can hold yourself until you get back to home, but should you require to use the toilet, there are also some wipes for you to wipe down the facility after you have used it. A steward will be available for help in that particular instance, just to keep an eye on these toilets, because it's for your safety and for the safety of others. So we leave the disabled toilet, which is not for disabled people on Sunday, it's for everybody. And we go back into the main auditorium. As you can see, around here, we have seating that is currently allocated in pods. And as you book in and as you arrive on Sundays, you'll be allocated a pod. Pod 1 up to 12. Some of the pods will have selected numbers on to allow for individuals to be accommodated. So the makeup may change slightly with pods, but for example at the front there might be singly allocated seats. But we'll let you know that on Sunday morning. And so as we continue through our walk through the church, as you can see, the lights are on. It's familiar. And we make our way onto the platform. And I'm going to ask the camera lady just to turn around so you can all see it from the front, if you can make your way. obviously within the venue there will be no singing allowed. Rachel, when she's available, she'll be leading worship with the guitar, and she will have on a shield, as will I, as I stand at the platform here to allow for safety for people that are listening and people that are here on that Sunday morning as we have our first in-person gathering. And so these are the things that are required at the moment. As you can see, we have the projector. Does that ring a bell? Familiar for many people. Ealing Motherwell. And then at the end of our service together, and we'll try and make our service as much as comfortable as possible. It will be different. There'll be no singing. There'll be no tea or coffee. There's no communion that we're allowed. No refreshments. But hopefully we're going to make it as personal as possible and encourage you to engage without necessarily singing, but engage and allow the Holy Spirit to speak to you on our time together, as we have done, as we've had digital church, and as we have in-person gatherings, so you will be able to come along and book in. People are already booking in, and so we want you to book in so that we can allocate a pod before Sunday morning. The cut-off date time will be Saturday at 4 o'clock on Saturday, to make sure that you get your booking in so that we can confirm that you've got a space for this Sunday. If you don't get a space for this Sunday, then it'll be the first option for next Sunday, and we'll see how it goes until we perhaps think about other options that are available to us. And so as you come into the church from the car park and the sanitizer and the toilet that's available, and you have a pod and we have our service and our time together, when you will leave, you'll be allowed to leave at one pod at a time. And as you leave, you'll be asked to leave this way, because as you enter, it'll be the front door only, and as you leave, you'll leave through this particular exit here. There'll be options here for you to put your offering in if you have got cash. If you want to pay by card, there will be a sanitised card machine available, and the person operating that will wear gloves, and we'll ask you possibly to wear gloves as well at that time. You'll be able to take a bar of chocolate or a sweet. Those were for the over 70s, so some of the over 70s, that was the last trip that I was going to do, but I never got round to doing it. A few magazines that have been out for over 72 hours, so you can take them. They're just the leftovers that have been in my office for a couple of months. And then as you leave, you'll be told to leave this way, and then obviously we'll be back out into the car park. And so that is the full service overview for Sunday morning in our first in-person gathering back in the Eden Christian Centre in Motherwell. It will be strange, it will be different, but it will be us trying to get back to a new normal, and that will take several months, but we want you to become part of that. We thank you for being part of our digital broadcast these last 198 days. Tomorrow night, I'm back with a thought, and then Saturday night, we're going to have our 200th party. Tell us what you have enjoyed about the Bulletin. Tell us how it has helped you. Tell us what God has said to you during these last 200 days as we meet on Saturday. Get a cup of tea, get a cake, get a biscuit, whatever you want. And then on Sunday, it'll be our in-person gatherings. And then our bulletins are going to go for 3 nights. Sunday night will be recorded, and it will be a communion service. Tuesday night will be our bite-sized worship, and again that will be pre-recorded in the venue after our in-person gatherings, and then on Thursday we'll be live with a prayer and a thought together. So there's a lot of things still happening, and we ask you to bear with us. We don't get everything right, we know that. We're like the government, trying to find our own way through this historic pandemic, these unprecedented times. We ain't perfect. We've got a lot of things wrong, but we're trying to do our best to encourage and encompass the church community, not just in person, but those like you that are watching digitally tonight. And we do thank you for being part of our digital community. Well, that's how we're going to go on Sunday morning. It's our first option. We're going to see how it goes, and we hope that you're going to join with us. We hope that if you're in the area, you're going to book in and be part of all that's taking place in the Eden Christian Centre here in Motherwell. So I hope that's been clear. I hope it's not been too wobbly for you, but I hope that it's been beneficial. I thank my camera lady who's done a sterling job. She's not fallen down, and she's been wonderfully doing her job. So I don't think there's anything else that I need to cover. That's been absolutely fantastic. So hopefully 11:15 is when the doors will open on Sunday. You won't be allowed in any time before that. There will be a steward in the car park and he'll point you in the right direction, and then we go through all that's happening. So thanks very much for joining us tonight. Hope you have a great evening, and we look forward to seeing you digitally tomorrow night and Saturday, and then in person on Sunday morning for an 11 o'clock service. It'll finish about 10 to 12 o'clock. Thanks for joining us. Have a great evening. God bless you.